What's up, everybody? How you doing? I just found out it's Tuesday, so happy Tuesday to you all. I hope you're having a great day. Hope you're having a great Tuesday. Much love to my sponsors. Before we get into anything today, much love to EJA Moving Services. When you're ready to move and relocate, hit Eddie up and his crew at 315-335-0516 or hit them up online at ejamoving.com. They'll pretty much move whatever you need to move. If you have an elephant, they will move that elephant. Your Grand Piano Studios, your grandmother, whatever. Also, Eddie wanted me to make mention that if you snowbirds are looking to transport your car down south, they will transport your car down south. All you got to do is hit them up online, ejamoving.com or 315-335-0516. Also, much love to my attorney, Dave Longaretta, who's been keeping me out of trouble since the 90s. Give him a call today if you need legal advice at 315-735-6162. Shout out to my peeps over at Utica Coffee, drinking the house blend. Thank you so much to Frank and Heather for waking me the hell up today. You can find them online at wakethehellup.com. And also much love to my good friends over at the Saranac Brewery. Saranac.com. You can check them out online. Speaking of good friends, I got a couple good friends in the house with me today from the 443 Club, Social and Lounge Club, I should say, right? That's the proper way to say it?
That's the proper way to say it.
The 443 Social Lounge. I love it.
Social Club and Lounge.
See, I already screwed it up.
But it's not that kind of social club.
No, right. So you can't get a massage there.
Not so much.
Jimmy won't give massages?
Nope. These are working hands.
Julie and Jimmy in the house with us. Leone's. We're talking earlier, and I think we're all related somehow, some way, shape, or form. But we'll get into the family history maybe a little bit down the road. But we've been talking a lot about what's been going on in this pandemic. And a lot of my friends own venues. A lot of my friends are entertainers, as we all are. Jimmy, you play. And Julie, you've been in the entertainment industry for a long time.
Yeah.
And you guys have hit some brick wall pretty much, right, with what's going on at the 443, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the pandemic is one part of it, but the stuff that's going on the state level is another whole piece of it. Yeah. So it's kind of coming at us from multiple directions. So, it's kind of, the live music business was always challenging, but now we're kind of doing it blindfolded with our hands tied behind our back. Mm-hmm. That's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah, and it seems like it's changing all the time. There's new rules and regulations, like chicken wings aren't food, and you can't promote. You're having a live band, and now you can, or
right.
You can only go at half capacity. Are you guys at half capacity right now?
40%?
Less than half. We're at about 40% inside right now.
How does that number get established, 40%?
Well, because you've got to. You can only do 50%, but then you also have to keep people 6 feet apart and 12 feet from your stage. So if you don't have room to do that, it might be less. It is less for a lot of people. So yeah, that's the most we can do. And right now we're still trying to keep people outside as much as we can. So, right. Propane heaters are our life right now.
So do you have like a tent going on right now, or just everybody
open
out
air with the heaters, the nice tall ones, and trying to keep people as warm as we can.
Blankets, fuzzy blankets. We have fuzzy blankets on our patio. They're a big hit, actually.
I don't even know. Next time we're going to bring cats in and put them on your lap or something. Not that I'm a fan of
Hopefully
that.
Hopefully
not. Hope not.
Come down to the 443 Club and get some pussy.
Good pussy. There you go, brother. See, I'm always a step ahead, man. I let her do all the nice stuff in the front. I'm in the back plotting all the nonsense.
Right. So. But Julie, I know we've known each other for a while. You are a logistics girl, so you're probably constantly thinking about what's going on and how can I change it and tweak this so we don't get in trouble. What are some of the steps you've taken?
Oh my God, we've done everything. Like our whole place is different. We used to have conversational living rooms, like funky 1970s living rooms, stuff that you probably remember when you were growing up, in your grandma's house. But it looked super cool, but it wasn't cleanable, and the distancing thing was difficult. So we have taken all the furniture out of our space. We switched to tables and chairs, so we're kind of cabaret style now. Lots of cleaning protocols, contactless payment terminals. We've got sanitation areas all over the place. So we changed to 100% table service, and that was a big change for us. The bartenders aren't really bartenders anymore. I mean, they still make the drinks, but they're also the ones actually waiting on everybody. So we're trying to keep people planted in their seats so they're not milling around, which is, obviously a big concern.
And
so yeah, we've done a ton.
Everybody's got to wear masks.
Everybody's got to wear a mask, and our crowd has actually been super compliant. We haven't had a lot of issues with it. So our crowd has been great. It's just every once in a while people forget. It's just more of like, oh hey, don't forget, put that mask on.
Are people boozing as much as they were? Are they a little hesitant to get really drunk? Or
if you were a drinker before, you're drinking a lot now because everybody's pretty anxious.
Yeah.
Everybody's pretty anxious. You know, you were talking about logistics, and I think that's something that people, if you're not in this business, you don't realize how good we are all at that. You know, we are problem solvers. You and I have worked on some crazy projects.
Oh, yeah.
And you're thinking on your feet, and you're making snap decisions, and you're dealing with high stress situations. And like, we're really ideally suited to deal with what's going on right now. And I don't think I don't think our government officials necessarily recognize that we are probably the best industry to come up with good solutions for what's happening, because this is what we do, you know?
A lot of tweaking going on. Like
it's endless.
It is endless. I feel like daily there's something new going on. Like live streaming has become a big thing as we're live streaming now. But I mean, as far as like an entertainment aspect of things, acoustic artists and bands and out there, now they have to get a little creative to get their either art out there or to get paid and make some money.
Well, just to pay the bills.
And now the market's saturated, so you've got to try to now reinvent yourself. What's going to be your next angle to get you the edge against the next guy, you know? So I feel bad. There's just so many people that we know that did that for a living, and now like just trying to keep something going and making yourself fresh and a reason to come see you as opposed to seeing the other 12 guys who are doing the same thing. I feel bad, man. It's brutal. It's got to be brutal.
Well, quality is starting to matter too, because, you know, the live streaming from your bedroom with, you know, a bad camera angle and the production value is not there.
Yeah.
I think that's becoming more important. People they're being forced to get better at it.
Right.
You know, like our friend Joe, you know, has become very, very good at that.
Yeah.
But not everybody has. But I think that's going to be the difference between who survives and who doesn't.
Well, Joe Altier was ahead of the curve before all this.
Oh,
I mean, he was
sure.
live streaming before this became the thing to do.
Yeah.
And he was out there playing, and now he's got that deal with Twitch, and he's doing great, man. I love seeing what Joe's
exactly.
doing.
I mean,
right
he
now.
treats it like a business, though, and that's the difference.
Yep.
You know, you can't just kind of roll out of bed and do this from this end of your bed. You know, it's, you know, there's a little more to it, but I think that's going to be the difference between who survives and who doesn't. Is kind of how serious you are and how professional you can make it, and how much you can include your audience into what's happening. Because that's the whole thing about live music is it's the energy and
give and take.
The give and take,
Give and take.
Yeah.
They give you more, you know, they'll take it, and you're going to give more. So, you know, it's a conundrum, right? For those that are trying to do it, right? Hey,
you feed back off the energy.
You get nothing back from anybody, you know. So we get hearts and streaming, smiling faces.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck all this,
But there's
man.
no roar of the crowd.
Yeah,
Right.
you just don't get. You don't get the applause. You don't get all that stuff. So
Yeah.
the drunk broad falling on the stage. You know, you don't get none of that stuff. Like, that's
Well,
what we
actually,
need.
that could be a good thing, though.
No, that's never. That's the best thing.
Come on, you don't want anybody spilling their beer on your pedals.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
No, but I hear you, though. It does lose its vibe. And I mean, who wants to play in front of their iPhone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
Sure.
And I've seen some people actually quit. Like,
Yeah.
just, I'm done with this. I got to go find a job and feed my family. And there's no way I can be a musician anymore or even be a promoter anymore.
Right.
Sad.
It kind of doesn't exist right now. It barely exists right now. You know, we're all kind of hanging on by our fingernails. You know, and even we were talking about one of our ideas was to, because I think the reduced capacity is going to be with us for a while. So we were thinking that we would do a small live audience inside and then a live stream. We were talking to some friends of ours. I mean, I was always hesitant to do it because I wanted the production value to be great. You know, I want it to look good if we're going to do that. But I also wanted the energy of a live audience, some kind of live audience who's, you know, feeding back to the musician. But without being able to ticket or advertise, that isn't something that's viable right now. So it'd be a hybrid of a small audience plus some kind of a paid live stream, you know. And I thought, okay, like we could probably make that work, but you can't make it work without advertising or ticketing, you know. So here we are.
The live streaming was a thing before. We talked about Joe being ahead of the curve, but there was such thing as couch tour before COVID hit.
Oh, for sure.
But I think the live streaming is going to stick around for years to come. I mean, think about the ultimate fan. They can see their band play wherever they want from the comfort of their own home. I mean, it's kind of convenient, and it makes sense, especially with the technology that we have today. But I don't see that ever going away. But, you know, it's a great way for you guys to profit, though.
Right.
Come buy a couple live streams. If people buy, you get 100 people watching on a live stream. But, you can.
Right.
That's a little bit of a revenue stream.
Hopefully, I mean, we were just getting ready to get into that when when the new rules came out in August. So the project's on hold right now.
Missy Carter is saying she's still good for a bottle of Chardonnay every day, Julie. So every time
so yes, our people do like to drink. Wine Wednesday is a very popular day at our place.
So how long was 443 open before COVID hit? You guys are fairly new, right?
We celebrated our 1-year anniversary right before our COVID hit. Mm-hmm. So we thought we had really just turned a corner. Like the first year is always really hard.
Always.
You're just busting your ass trying to get people in the seats and all that. And we came back after the holiday. We took a little break after Christmas, and we came back, and things were just going great. We were filling a lot of our shows, and we were doing more touring artists, which seemed to be the way to go. We had kind of felt like we had cracked the code a little bit, and things were going really well. And for the first time, we really thought, oh, okay, like this could work. Like, I think we're going to be okay. And 4 weeks later, COVID happened.
There goes the carpet.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Now what?
Yeah, so we're really new. So on top of the fact that this is devastating for everybody, we were only a 1-year-old business when it happened.
Were you able to get like a PPE or any kind of assistance?
We did. That isn't
it's nothing, right?
It's not a lot because payroll isn't a big part of our budget, and also it was based on our very first year of our numbers from year one. Yep. So that wasn't a lot. So even our payroll in January and February were more than, what that was. And we got a little emergency assistance, and I qualified for PUA, which helped a lot. And that was honestly what kept our business going, was the money that I got personally by not working. Mm-hmm. And since they allowed people who are self-employed to get it. So that was huge. But now that that's run out, now what? Now that, there's nothing keeping this afloat at this point.
Yeah. And Jimmy and I were talking before we went on, like what you're making at half capacity or at 40% barely even pays the bills now.
Right.
Yeah, and if it's a very casual listening crowd that's not really into drinking, right, or just kind of, a cup of coffee, it doesn't work. There has to be that number that's got to be hit to even make it worth opening the door. Mm-hmm. It's right. It's like either stay open and make $10. Or close. I mean, you're still going to lose money, but you're not expending all of this unnecessary energy and just trying to keep people happy when there's no payoff in the end, And unfortunately, it is a business. Great, we love live music. We love, bringing our friends together and doing all this stuff. But in the end, got to pay the bills too, And that's really what this. That's the crushing part of this, is just trying to figure out how to keep this ball rolling so that we can get back into that atmosphere of where, hi friends, man, we're happy to see you. Everybody's here. At this point, it's beyond that. We really have to figure out how to keep this business going.
It's not about making money. It's about breaking even. Yeah. It's about just treading water and being able to just kind of keep everything paid. It's certainly not about paying me at this point, It's just about breaking even and keeping our heads above water. That's it.
You don't get into business to break even.
That's the sad
part.
For
right now, you do, though. For right now,
yeah,
that is what it is.
This is survival, man. There's nothing else but survival on the table right now. Mm-hmm. And listen, it's bleak. It doesn't look very good. So we're doing our best, man. We're gonna hold on as long as we possibly can. But time's running out.
Right.
And it's not us. You just hear it every day.
Yeah.
A couple venues in Rochester that just closed recently. I don't know what their live music side of it is, but just bars in general. Anything that does an alcohol related business where people got to come in and hang out. They're going to start going. You're going to just every day there's going to be another one.
Well, we're in the business of gathering people together, and that's not really what you're supposed to be doing right now. So, So now what do we do? The hard part, I think, is that it's what's happening right now is kind of sucking the joy out of a lot of what we do, because that's why we do it, because we get a lot of joy out of presenting incredible music and gathering people together who really appreciate it, and just having this really good, like, the word magical gets thrown around a lot, but that's a real thing, and it's harder to get there now because we're also trying to clean everything constantly, and everybody's got a mask on. You can't see us smiling because, my staff and I have masks on all night. It is just that hospitality, that personal angle, that's harder to get to now, even if you've got a full room of appreciative people and all that. And that's the part that makes me a little bit sad, because the reasons we're doing it are harder to get to now.
And it's got to make your day longer too, with all the cleaning you got to do.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible because we're only open right now. We're open Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Okay.
And they're short day. Like they're much shorter than what we were doing before. We used to be open 5 to 6 days a week, sometimes 7 if I had another show. And we're only doing 3 nights and it's shorter hours and it's exhausting. It's absolutely exhausting because you're trying to keep your eye on, okay, nobody's walking around without a mask and I can't let people mingle and all the little things we have to keep track of. And we're trying to be very conscientious with it, but it's kind of physically and emotionally exhausting by the end of it. You know, Saturday comes, people are like, oh, you can open on Saturdays? Like, oh my God, no, on Saturdays I'm dead. I'm literally dead.
It's my rest day.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, this is harder than being open 5-6 days a week.
It
It's just
is.
regular, your regular flow of things and people, the staff that kind of does their thing and it chips in keeping it running. Like now, I mean, she just like, I've seen it. I have to live with it. It's insanity.
Sorry.
It's insanity. Listen, I love you, but it's craziness.
Maybe we'll do a little marriage counseling right now too.
Nah, we're good. We're solid.
we're good. We're
Me
in
and
good
her,
shape.
solid forever. But but it's amazing to see how much more work she's putting into 3 days a week as opposed to when it was just rolling on its own thing,
Yeah.
So
Well, part of that's reservations. Like there's a lot more administrative stuff that has popped up with us. You know, we're trying to reserve tables so we can assign seats so there isn't any milling or, oh, I got to find a seat. Am I going to sit at this table or that table? So we assign seats and we try to get reservations. And also that's a crowd control thing. We can't sell tickets, so we take reservations instead. And but that comes with its own set of issues. There's the people who make reservations that don't show up. And then there's the flurry of cancellations that happen the morning of, and then I'm trying to rush and fill the seats again. So
what about the people that just show up? Do you have that too?
we get that and we'll accommodate that if we can. We just can't always.
Right.
If it's full, I can't squeeze one more in. We're not allowed to do that.
right, there's just no place to put anybody.
Yeah.
Right? You can't.
Because the seats, you have to be in a seat. So when the seats are full, and that's it. So yeah, there isn't any of that, and we accommodate people as best we can. But it's really another whole challenge. It's another whole level of next level, difficult.
Have your people have been respectful of your rules and regulations right now?
Oh,
or?
for sure.
Yeah.
Our crowd's been, they're like, tell us what you want us to do.
No bad
We'll do
apples
it.
at all?
No, not a one.
You're lucky.
Not a one.
Listen, there's a place and a time to make your stand on some things.
Yeah.
And a small mom and pop business is not the place to flout the mask thing and make a problem for people. Go do that shit at Walmart. Go to some big corporation that can handle all that crap. You come into a place like mine, it ain't the place to come to this hill and die because I'm going to shut you down, all right? I don't know what else to do about it, I've got to keep the doors open and I'm not going to take a fine because some jerk off wants to come in and tell me, be free, we live free, guns, all bullshit, man. Be respectful, man.
Right.
Don't do it to mom and pops. It's not the place.
You sure we're not related?
Thank you. We are, brother.
You're definitely related.
Somewhere. We'll find it. We'll dig it up. And Ange, we got to talk.
She's watching too.
Shout out to Mom.
We got to trace this out. There's something
There's
somewhere.
definitely something there. But
So, yeah.
anyways, it's good that people have been respectful.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
like
it
you
is.
said, like Walmart, stuff like that,
Yeah.
that's the place you go take it to. But I have seen, like, especially here on the local level in Utica, a lot of these bar owners are taking slack from their patrons. Like,
Yeah.
I know my rights and blah, 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 flexing their muscle.
Oh,
and
stop.
Yeah, man. It's listen, I'm all for it too. Listen, we all got to make our stand. But
Yeah.
like I said, don't crush the mom and the pops.
Right.
Man.
Yeah, don't do
Just-
it on the backs of people who are just trying to
Yeah, man.
keep the doors open. Yeah.
Yeah.
Breaking even.
I want another day to do this, man. Don't shut me down. A $25,000 fine, $10,000 fine from the SLA. I can't absorb it, man. That'll kill it.
Yeah.
And then what am I going to do? Come to your house? Hey, man, you didn't wear a mask. You're the guy that got me blown in. You know what I mean? Because you don't know who's there.
Right.
Right? The SLA's out doing spot checks and there's been plenty of fines issued out there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't want to be one of them.
Have they been through your place?
No.
That you know of?
Not
or?
that we know of.
No?
You don't really know,
Yeah.
Unless you do something wrong, then you know.
We're so beyond weird. We're doing stuff that nobody's doing, though. I mean, we do temperature checks at the door. You have to fill out a health declaration. We take contact tracing information. We know the name and phone number of everybody who's in our place.
So everybody signs in when they come?
Everybody signs in, and I've got a lot of stuff on social media. Our website has it outlined. We did a video that kind of showed all the stuff we did. Like, so we've done all this stuff. Like, we've gone so above and beyond that, like, I can't imagine anybody would go in there and find a problem with it.
Yeah. We got a couple people checking in. Robin saying Cersei's doing a decent job with their live streaming. Maybe you guys can work with Cersei down the road. Have you had them at your place before?
We
Great
actually
It's one of our best shows. So
yeah, they're one of our
show.
I've been a fan of theirs forever,
Yeah,
like 10
same.
years at least. And we had a show scheduled Thanksgiving weekend with them, which I think is probably can't happen now because of the ticketing thing, unless that changes between now and then. I actually haven't even talked to them about it, but we had a show. We moved it to 2 seatings originally. We thought, okay, we'll deal with the capacity issue, and we'll do an early seating and a late seating, like clean everything in between, and that way we can get to where we want to get. But if we're not allowed to do a ticketed show, I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
Yes, but I love them. Mel and Rich are awesome.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and I mean, realistically, on the business side of it, if I can't monetize that live streaming thing and make enough money for the production and the crap that's got to go into it, it's not worth the effort and the aggravation to make it happen.
The extra
You know
work.
what I mean?
Yep.
I'm all for it. I would love
Yeah.
to see it, but if I can't get a monetary return on it that makes business sense, I mean, what's that? That's going to leave people sitting home watching, and I'm like, keeping things going over here, and I'm not selling a shot of tequila. I'm not,
Because really our money's on the bar. Our money is on the bar.
That's the only place to
Yeah.
make it. That's why we did it the way we did it. She used to do event promotion, and all right, so why promote the events? Let's just open the bar. That's where the money side of this is coming from. So, so anything that we do at this point, if I can't monetize it, unfortunately, sadly, I can't put the time and effort into making it happen.
Yeah.
So.
CJ saying we love the 443 and we need it. Something needs to happen so we can all continue to make music and make people smile.
Yes.
So thank you, CJ, for checking in. Everybody out there in Facebook land, if you could do us a favor and click the share button, help spread the word of what they're doing at
Spread the
443 and here at EC Radio and Disruption Network. My boy Tim Herron checking in. Good to hear from you, Tim.
Yay.
Tim, actually, I'd like to get you on the show too. So hit me up, drop me a line. I'd love to have you come in. And he's saying, Jimmy, the language is offensive. But there's no rules here. In fact, I prefer the bad language.
Good, fuck 'em. I'll take care of you Wednesday.
Robin's also saying you guys are her mentors, so that's really sweet. Thank you, Robin.
Thank you, Robin.
Robin wanted me to bring up something too a while ago with one of my guests previously, but I want to bring this up to you too. What about ASCAP and BMI? Have they been coming knocking on your doors right now?
Oh my God,
have they?
That's my.
we have accounts with them. I mean, we're obviously signed up with them, but like now they're not somebody that we've paid this year.
Right.
Yeah.
Why would
And-
you?
I got to cut somewhere. I mean,
Right.
that's not the place to. But I mean, my license for paying for that license is not being utilized to its fullest extent of what you'd be paying for. So I would hope at some point there's a settlement that's able to be reached with them for the loss of use of that license.
They should
right?
prorate it.
They're
Really,
gonna
it
have to
needs to be
prorate it.
prorated because we were closed legitimately for 6 months out of the year. That's
Listen,
half the year.
If I had a few $1,000s in my pocket to go and negotiate with them right now, I probably would make that a priority on the list right now. But I don't know what else to do. After being shut down for all those months, I mean, that license got zero use not at our, not at my fault. So I don't know where the liability, where the, how we're going to work something out. But I refuse to be shaken down for a license that I cannot utilize. So
hopefully it ends up being like half the year instead of the full year's price. But a liquor license is another issue with that. We have 2-year liquor licenses, and that's the most expensive license we have. So will that allow for 6 months of not being open? It's not 1 or 2 months. It's a significant chunk of time. So I'm curious about that too. We haven't addressed that yet either.
Yeah, but that comes into that big picture of why everybody's pushing for some kind of state aid, federal aid, something. I mean, you've got all these insurances and services and things that you're required to have for your business that you are no longer able to use, but expected to pay for, but being told you can't.
You're literally not allowed to use.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know that weird area of how this is all going to shake out, but for me, that's part of like what all this aid is about. It's like paying for these necessities, right? That the hands are going to come out. All right, time to pay up. It's like, yo, man.
It's like the mafia.
Yeah, exactly. Son of a bitch.
No, it really is.
Yeah.
I mean, when I had the club too, ASCAP was up our ass for years, and we dodged them for a while. So one day I showed up. I've told this story before on this podcast, but one day I showed up, and there's an agent sitting there with his briefcase waiting for me to open the door and start cleaning. And he pulled out a spreadsheet, and it just like the paper hit the floor. And he had the date, the song, the title, the artist, the current artist that wrote the song, who covered the song. song, the
Oh my
time,
God.
everything. They detailed. Wow. And this is like maybe prior to cell phones and our smartphones, I should say.
Right.
You know, and it was just a detailed spreadsheet for us. And it's like, wow. So the running joke between my partner and I, Laura, was they were looking for Osama bin Laden back then. We're like, oh, just sick ass cap on him. I'll find him. You know?
Yeah, right.
That was the joke. But
That's about right.
They're like the freaking mafia.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. I mean, the phone calls are endless, and at some point you just have to dismiss that one. I don't know, man. I don't know. Sooner or later, I gotta meet it head on and figure out what the settlement is going to be.
And we signed up with those companies even before we opened. Like we knew we had to do it. We just said, okay, this sucks, but we'll just get it done.
Yeah.
But this is a very different year.
Really, seriously, they got to have some kind of compassion for you.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who's at the helm of that kind of stuff. Is it a conglomerate of mafia guys, or is it some people that are going to be like, hey, we're artist friendly, we're venue friendly, we're trying to just make sure everybody's getting paid appropriately and all that. Well, part of that being paid appropriately is going to be, well, there's 6 months of inactivity, so
yeah,
all right, man,
yeah,
cut me some slack, brother.
I'm
here.
to.
I'm trying to help.
There needs to be some slack cut.
Yeah, for
yes.
sure. For sure.
It's ridiculous, especially with these pros and then the SLA, and everybody's just coming down on you left and right. I can't even imagine. It's got to keep you up every night.
Yeah, I don't sleep anymore. I sleep
don't?
about 3 to 4 hours at a stretch, and then I'm up. So it's kind of it's not pretty.
Robin wants to know who are the local musicians that actually have gotten taken care of by the performance rights organizations?
Well, that's a solid question because that's what that money is supposed to go to. But I don't know. Does that really happen? Are the musicians getting paid? Because the musicians I know are in.
We know Billy Joel's getting paid.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Right. But what about the little guys?
I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of the business.
I don't know. Tim Herron. Is Tim Herron getting paid?
Right.
Seriously.
I mean, you have to be registered for the license and all that. I imagine. I wonder, is there fees from the artists too? I mean, do they have to pay to get their license to be reimbursed by? I mean, I don't know. I've never looked into the whole program, but I'm sure some kind of shady bullshit somewhere in there. I'm sure of it. I'm sure.
All right, so they'll be knocking at our door tomorrow
Probably.
after this.
Oh, listen. Come get it. What do you want me to do?
Yeah, for real.
What do you want me to do?
There's really
Take one of my patio heaters so I can close the doors.
Trade you a patio heater.
Trade you a patio heater for a 6-month license.
Okay. That's patio heaters are the hot commodity right now, though.
I'll give you a bottle of Blands. Maybe a bottle of Blands. It's hard to get. Maybe I got a couple of those laying around. Maybe we can work something out.
Barter anything.
What, I got to get in the massage business now, too?
I told
come
you.
Come on downstairs. I got something. I'll help you out. Don't tell anybody.
Tim Herron saying his ass hasn't been paid yet. No.
Okay, well, there you go then.
Jeff
He
Adderman.
got paid what he's worth.
Jeff Adderman from.
You're going to hear about that.
Yeah.
Timmy,
be
hit me up, though. I'd really love to get you on this podcast. Him and I have known each other 25 years, and it'd be great to chop it up with him. But Jeff Adderman's checking in, too. He's from Big Blue North Recording Studio. I was at his place yesterday doing this podcast. We had a great time. And he's never been to your place personally, but he knows how much, venues, your venue means to musicians and stuff, so he feels your pain too, because it's trickling down on them as well in the recording industry.
Yeah.
And they know bands are coming in there record right now, and it's just people don't understand. It's not just the venues, it's not just the musicians. There's just so much, especially on a bigger level when you're looking at places like Lakeview. And you're looking at parking attendants and security and concessions,
hospitality, marketing,
runners,
the Westcott Landmark Theater. Let's go to the bigger level of it. Let alone, never mind the amp, and all the big stuff, just in the regional level, right? The Landmark Theater, right? The Westcott, anything. I'm just going off the Syracuse stuff, right? How much parking attendance, parking revenue, restaurants, it all plays in.
Then look at the area businesses, the restaurants and the bars.
The people that come stay overnight, right? And then the next morning, all that revenue that comes from all that stuff. It's just so massive, that the big picture has been missed, I think, by the governor and some of the other stuff. Or maybe they've seen it, they just give a shit.
Yeah, they just don't like to be entertained.
Yeah, exactly.
They like to be entertained in other facets.
Yeah, for sure. Furthering their career. Not on my back.
Jordan Davis is saying, please give Jimmy some whiskey.
Oh, what you got? Maybe.
Jordan, there may or may not have been some tequila before the show.
May or may not have. No, for sure.
Yes, Jordan, bring me some tonight.
Are you guys open tonight?
We are not tomorrow.
No,
Tomorrow is the first day of our week, so yeah.
With Tim Herron, right? Is he playing?
Incidentally, yes.
Yes. So that's still a thing too. I'm glad you brought that up. So you can't really promote that he's there. I thought that changed.
It did not. The Sportsman's Tavern, which is a legendary music venue in the Buffalo area, hired a lawyer, went to court. The judge said that it was not only irrational but unconstitutional. Unfortunately, that really only applies to Erie County. So what that means is, I know it's crazy, but what it means is that if we wanted to fight it, the judge could either say, yes, I agree with the judge in Erie County, or no, I don't. Like it could really still go either way. The judge here would be allowed to agree or disagree. So it doesn't really change anything for us.
And it's not worth fighting. It's because that's just going to cost more money.
Well, we're getting that all the time. Why don't you sue them? You know, they only understand the suits. Why don't you start a class action lawsuit? There was a couple attempts at that were done by some venues, and guess what? They got fined. They got shut down afterwards when the case got dismissed.
Yeah.
Look, you know, I'm going to work within the rules as best we can. You know, I just don't think it's worth going up the juggernaut. You know, going up against it at this point. There's you know, the pros and cons, and I think the cons heavily outweigh the pros of doing this at this point. So we're not going to change the system, just us.
No,
you know, at this point.
The class action suit that was filed in New York City, the judge threw out the request for an injunction on the advertising and charging issue because the state said you're allowed to promote legal shows, but it doesn't say what legal shows are. Like, what's a legal show and what's what's legal, what's illegal. There aren't words we ever have used before to talk about live music. So nobody really understands what that means, but the judge threw it out. So that didn't go anywhere. So if we had the money, I guess we could just hire a lawyer, but I don't know that it would change very much.
Yeah, it's going to be costly.
Yeah, for sure. You know?
The cost definitely outweighs the final outcome, I would think, at this point, because if you get ruled against, I mean, that's all money got pissed away, and there's no, you know, it's not coming back.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, and then you're taking a chance and them coming up your ass.
Right. Well, that's guaranteed to happen.
Yeah.
I'm almost, just from the couple examples that it has happened to, I'm not willing to take that. Like I said, that kind of money puts you out of business, man. There's no coming back from it. At least not where we are.
I've noticed, though, in the Syracuse region, you guys, as far as venue owners go, have really come together. Like, I've seen you with Nardi and a couple things with Chuck Schumer and the politicians. That's a cool thing. The camaraderie has been like, we're in this together type of thing. Talk a little bit about some of that, coming together with some of these venues that you normally you're a competition. Not that you're a competition with Westcott, because it's a different size venue.
It's a whole different thing.
Right? It's a whole different animal. But normally this would be like your competitor type of thing.
Yeah, kind of. I think it's more that we're all, because I'm in my venue all the time, I don't get to go out and see live music anywhere else, where I probably would. You know, the Nelson Odeon out past Casanova, they've got great stuff, and they're a similar style to us. But I'm so busy. I'm at work all the time, so I don't get to do that. And that's been one really nice thing that's happened is I've started having conversations with venue owners. I mean, Nardi and I have known each other for a long time, but I got to meet Jeff from the Nelson Odeon, and I got to meet Ty from Center of the Arts of Homer, and I had a conversation with the guy that owns Fanatics, which is in it's south of Rochester, kind of in the outer Finger Lakes area, I think, and he's got a place that does a lot of blues music, and these are just conversations that wouldn't have happened. You know, everybody's really kind of feeling like, okay, we're all in this together. We have to share information, we have to share resources, and we really all have to hang tight. And I think that's one really awesome thing that's happened through all this, because I wouldn't be talking to most of these people otherwise. And the results of the Sportsman's Tavern Club, their lawsuit happened because I reached out to them on Facebook, and I just said, hey, we're going to have this Let the Music Play rally in Syracuse, and I think it'd be cool if you guys did one in Buffalo. And it happened to jive with when they were going to court for this. So now I have a little dialogue going with the owner of the Sportsman's Tavern, and I never would have met him otherwise. So yeah, so like that part's really cool, and I hope we can all hang on to that.
Did the SLA send people into the Sportsman's Tavern? Do you know of?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
We didn't get that deep into anything with them. I mean,
but they're advertising. They're doing, because they're really heavy with live music. They do live music during lunches, which I think is awesome. Like they've done it that way for years, and they are advertising, but they're allowed to because they won their suit.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit about Let the Music Play. Is this something you established, or
it is?
It is.
It is.
Yeah, see?
All her.
All her.
The mastermind.
I when the governor's orders first came down, we kind of had the feeling that he just wasn't understanding how the music business works, like the ticketing thing particularly, because it's absurd to think that selling tickets causes more people, because it's the opposite. That's how you control the crowd. So I thought, okay, well, let's band people together. We have a lot of music fans. We have a lot of musician friends. There's other venue owners. Let's kind of band together and just sort of raise awareness to this. So I started a Facebook page, our Facebook group, I should say, at the end of August. And within a week, we had 1,000 people on it. And we're up over 1,600 now. And the idea was to do kind of targeted letter writing, stuff to Governor Cuomo, stuff to senators, stuff to local politicians, and kind of sharing information and just kind of trying to raise awareness to it. It's been a good community thing, but I don't know how successful we've actually been with it. We held a rally. We had over 100 people show up. Assemblyman Al Sturpey has been really helpful to us, and he actually arranged a conference call with the governor's office with Dan from the Westcott, Jeff from the Nelsonodian, and Ty from Center for the Arts of Homer. And we were able to talk for over an hour about our concerns and kind of why these rules don't make sense. But nothing has changed.
Of course.
So, yeah, so it's it's cool that there's all this support, but I don't know that we haven't really gotten what we wanted out of it. So I'm not sure what the next move is. I think with what the numbers look like in New York, I don't think he's going to change the rules soon. I think they're going to be with us for a little while, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, it looks like the numbers have gone up.
Yeah, they've gone up, because at the time when we started this, the numbers were still really low, and we never really had a big spike here in Central New York.
Right.
Central New York is not New York City. But the numbers have gone up. We've had spikes in different areas, so I don't see him in the middle of that saying, okay, you can advertise live music now or sell tickets. So yeah, so it's kind of a cool thing, and it's in a little bit of a holding pattern right now. What I'm focusing on right now with that group is the cast and crew diaries, which I think you still owe me an essay for, by the way.
I know, I sent it in.
I never got it.
I did. I thought I did.
You didn't.
I wrote it. I know I wrote it.
I hope you saved it.
Man, me too, because it was long.
I got a nice picture. You sent me the picture. That's all I got.
I know I wrote it. All right, go ahead.
The cast and crew diaries are, we touched a little bit earlier on the whole ecosystem of live music. It is so many people. It's not musicians and venue owners. There's hundreds of other people in that world. And I wanted to spotlight all of those people and how this has affected them. So everybody kind of writes an essay, and it's a photo. And I see this project kind of going beyond whatever happens with the state, because I think I can run this well into next year, given the effect, what the effects are going to be. So the response has been really great, and that's kind of what we're doing in Let the Music Play now, is we're just kind of sharing these stories, like these very personal essays of how people are dealing with it. And it's financial trouble for some, it's mental health issues for others, uncertainty about the future. There's a lot of different things going on here, and everybody's got a different story. So that's kind of what I'm focusing on with that group. But that's going to live on its own, well beyond Let the Music Play.
Oh, good.
Cast and Crew Diaries has its own website. It's got its own Facebook page, and we're just going to keep the stories coming. We're reaching out, seeking them out, and asking people to submit stories.
And it's from everybody in the industry, not just musicians, and it's pretty much promoters and whoever.
It's everybody. Liz Kenny's in the marketing world. I got one from her. Stacy Waterman, her son Mark did one. I'm trying to get all the angles, some hospitality people who are runners, maybe people, there's just so many different positions that are affected by this.
That's important to give those people recognition for what they're going through too. It's easy to look at the musicians or the bar owners.
These are the people you don't see.
But the cats in the back that are running to get the food for the spreads that I've sat through many of those things too. The early morning runs to get the catering up and or the guy running cables, all that stuff, man.
Yeah, the stagehands.
The stagehands, just, it doesn't matter what it is. A guy that's directing the parking, for Christ's sakes. Everybody has a role in this, and we need to make people aware that it's just not the musician that's suffering. There's just so many people that are affected by this, and I think that's great that what she's reached beyond that. You're welcome. I kind of help with that.
No, that's okay. No, it's exactly right. We just want. I don't think if you're not in this world, you don't realize how many people it takes to put on a musical event.
Yeah.
Stacy's saying Jimmy should shut up. He talks too much. I think you're doing just
I'm not
fine.
saying anything. I love Stacy.
She'll kick your ass, too.
Absolutely.
The woman suplexed
I'm
me
not
once.
looking for any. Yeah. Mean Gene.
No, but it does. It takes a village.
Yeah, it
takes
really
a village
does.
to put on a show, and people don't see it. They just see the front end of the things.
Yeah.
They don't see what goes on behind the scenes.
Like, oh, there's a rock star up on that stage. Okay, well, there's hundreds of people that got, think of bus drivers, tour bus drivers, and, look at the Chevy Court shows, all the people that are involved in putting those things on. You and I have both been there for that.
Mm-hmm.
It's hundreds of people, literally hundreds of people. But if you're not in the world, you don't know that. So we're trying to just really show that, just show what everybody's stories are and what we're all kind of dealing with right now.
Yeah. This whole pandemic is really, I was a huge sports fan. I'm still a sports fan, but I haven't even paid attention to sports whatsoever since this pandemic hit.
Yeah.
It's it's like, why should I be rooting for these quadrillionaires right now when we're stuck on unemployment and can't even find work right now? And I'm going to root for Tom Brady. Well, not
Right.
that I would
And
ever
again,
root for Tom Brady.
so let's
but that's the first
For
one
real.
that came to mind. LeBron James.
So
one of
let's
those.
use that with the music thing.
Right.
How about all the people that work in the stadiums that now
Right.
can't sell concessions? Can't the
ticketing people.
the janitors, like all of it. It's really the same arena. You got to think of it all in the same concept. And
Well, if you think of events,
it's
just put it
sad.
under
It's
events.
it just sucks how many other people are suffering. But yeah, it's easy to dismiss the Tom Brady's like, that's why you got enough money. Fuck off, man. Go deal with it. You'll be all right.
Seriously.
I'm worried about the cat that's emptying the trash, right? That's running the golf carts and shuffling people around, man. Like that's where it really starts to hit. We're all working people, man. This is, it's just. It's sad how many people are shrapnel, you like just caught in the crossfire, all this stuff, man.
Collateral damage.
Collateral damage, yes.
Jordan's saying get on the bus. Is that referral
on
to
the bus.
to
Milk.
the lacrosse?
Yes.
To the lacrosse championships there?
There was a point in that event where I felt like all I was saying was get on the goddamn bus. Multiple times a day.
Yeah. Let alone try to put a festival together. Try a 2-week international indoor lacrosse tournament from countries all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
Then one country get kicked out because they were boozing too hard.
Yeah.
Or something. I can't remember, Netherlands or one of them. They got into a fight in one of the bars. And
It wasn't the Irish, though, was it?
no.
They were very.
Let's not stereotype.
I like Team Ireland. They were nice.
But that
Wasn't what you think.
I saw your post. It was recently. It was 5 years ago to the day, pretty much.
Yeah, Wengie posted a cool little video that she did. It was all photos from that event, and I have to say that was a really challenging event.
Yeah,
but
it
I
was.
learned more from that event than any other event that I only cried a couple times. Come on.
Every time we talk about this event, I have
You cringe.
bad things, man.
You have
Bad
PTSDs.
things come back.
Yeah.
That was when you were in my house.
I was in your house.
My chair got stolen. You almost got stabbed.
I did.
I almost suffocated with a pillow. Thanks, Stacy. Thank you.
You almost stabbed me.
I did.
I know.
I almost
I
did.
know, I know.
Thank
Like,
God.
here's
they
the key to
told
my
me.
house. Just go in. It'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. And then
Who are you? What?
No, I learned a ton from that, though. I think of everything I've ever worked on, I've learned more from that event than anything. Just that was like a logistical maneuver doesn't compare to anything else I've ever done.
and how to think quick on your feet.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
A lot of
For sure.
thought went into that. A lot of curveballs thrown at you, but it was a great event. We had a blast doing it.
I mean,
It's something I'll
I'm
never
really
forget.
proud to be involved in it. I'm really
Yeah,
proud that we
same.
were involved with it.
Yep.
And I think it went as well as it did because of, Stacy's team of people that she put together for that.
Yeah.
I felt like we were kind of the glue that held a lot of that together.
Yeah. Stacy's the mama of the Avengers.
She is.
She
She
That's what
is.
she does too. And she's saying nobody with the venue size of 443 has worked harder than you two, and to comply and still have a safe and fun place for a night out. So
Thank you.
We're trying.
Yeah.
Trying like hell, man. This is part of that labor of love, I don't know, man. I don't know.
She's saying there's no crying in event production.
Sure there is.
Well,
I watched people go into the fancy porta potties at that event and cry every single day.
she says you're hardcore now because of it.
That's true.
It
It's
is
true.
true.
It's absolutely true.
For sure. But that one girl that we worked with, can't remember her name, but she's like, I just need a mental health day. And Stacey's like, bitch, there ain't no mental health days in this. What are you talking about? You can
Seriously.
Mike Coley's saying, Julie, your work isn't unnoticed. So shout out to Coley. Thank you, man.
Thanks, man.
315music.com. Check him out online. So he should do a feature on you, too.
I think he's
Has he?
I don't don't think he's done anything on us, but I feel like he has also covered a lot of the governor's stuff, the rules, the guidelines and stuff we're dealing with. I think he did something not too long ago.
Well, Coley, get over there and cover him, damn it. Yeah, let's get him over there. So you can't really promote, you have these bands or whatever, but who's coming to eat in the upcoming future? Is anybody coming over to eat and have a couple pops with you guys or what? Jimmy, you got any new drinking buddies?
No, nothing national. I'm looking for the big time, man.
Yeah.
All our local guys. I mean, we've cultivated what we can. The thing with our venue was it was going to be, one of the homes for original music and stuff, and whether it be local and touring guys, we've had to reassess and look at some things, and we've welcomed more of our, the cover things and stuff like that. I mean, we got to keep this going at this point.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, if we're open, we have music.
Yeah.
So we're open Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. If our doors are open, there is live music. The best thing people can do is subscribe to our weekly newsletter. On Monday, I send a letter out and just let people know who might be playing in the background that week.
Yeah, because you're going to get all kinds of, you're going to get a variety of things right now that probably we may not have if we were functioning like we normally do. So yeah, get on the email list. There's bound to be something coming that maybe little surprises here and there,
Yeah, I mean, the touring thing is going to be more difficult because, as you know, it's not even just the ticketing part of it. It's that artists have to string together tour dates, like somebody can't come up from Austin, Texas to just come to Syracuse. They have to have dates all the way up. I can't even imagine when that's going to come back. We're not going to get people from, we had a lot of people from Nashville and New Orleans and Austin before. I don't see having those people for probably a couple years. I'm going to focus on Northeast artists. There's a lot of great artists out of Boston or Philly or New York City or, Maine area and things like that. So that's what we can do once the ticketing thing starts again.
Right.
But as far as getting people from all around the country that are touring artists, I don't know how that'll even happen until well into next year, maybe 2022.
Phew.
Yeah.
Let's hope not that long.
How would you pin a tour together? Or if you're in California or Texas?
You can't.
You can't.
They're going to get canceled or...
No, I mean, every state's got different rules and different situations and all of this,
And then there's the quarantine thing. Like, if you're coming from another state, you got to go lay in your hotel room for 14
days. Like, nobody can afford to do that.
Right.
So, yeah, that alone would put a stop to it.
Exactly. Yeah. Is there anything, and I ask my guests this a lot, is there anything that you would like to see stick around after COVID's done?
Stick around. Well, I think that the network that has been put together, I would hope that there's more sharing of information and we continue to keep this web of people together, outside of just like a competition type of thing. Like everybody kind of like making this work with, a community as opposed to kind of like, looking at, somebody being my competition is over there. Like I really just hope it all kind of pulls itself together and that continues to be a network of good information that gets shared amongst everybody.
Yeah, and I think another thing might be when because we opened for 3 weeks in August before the new New York guidelines came through, and one thing I was seeing was more places that hadn't charged a cover before were starting to charge a cover or have a minimum required purchase. We have always charged a cover for our shows because it's necessary to make it work financially, but it was tough because so many places didn't. Music was free. People are used to, live music should be free all the time, and there's real costs involved in it.
Oh, yeah.
So prior to that happening, I thought, okay, this is really encouraging that I'm seeing more places charging a cover, or they're selling tickets, or they're saying, well, you have to spend at least $20 once you sit down at the table, or however they were doing it. And I think once the state rules loosen up a little bit, I think that will come back, and that would be a very healthy thing for this industry. It'll make this all more stable and more viable, and make it make more sense for more people.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't, I mean, the free live music thing shouldn't be a thing. It really shouldn't be a thing.
People don't understand how much cost you have to absorb to get the fee, for your talent for the night. I mean,
they think, you'll make it up at the bar.
You'll make it up at the bar. You think you're making, $1,000 in every drink. Granted, the profit margin is good, but you got to put it all into perspective once you start thinking about their fee, your sound guy, because we do in-house sound. We have a technician.
Advertising.
All of it, man. Yeah. All of it. Like making that money back up just at the bar. leaves nothing left for the venue. So it absolutely has to get back to the point where there's a minimal cover for anything that goes on. It's just healthy for everybody involved.
Yeah, it's good
right?
for the artist. It's good for, I mean, if you think even if you're paying someone a couple $100 to come in, you have to make a couple $100 in profit. That's not sales. That's in profit that you have to make.
Yeah,
But I
yes.
mean, you've got to pay staff. You've got to, there's somebody at the door. There's more expenses than people think there are.
Indeed. A lot of the artists have like reduced their guarantee and whatnot. You think it's leveled the playing field a little bit?
I mean, there's a lot of people who, if people have other jobs, there's musicians who have full-time jobs and don't depend on this financially.
Correct.
And they are, in a lot of cases, saying, hey, we just want to help you out and we'll take whatever. You know what I mean? They're a little more flexible. But we also know a lot of people that are living on this money. So that's a different thing. And I don't really expect them to reduce their price. What we've been doing for the last few weeks is we have a musical donation bucket. And that's a weird thing we never thought we would do. I don't like the idea of making it a donation. I always just wanted it to be a charge. The charge is this much and you pay it at the door. So we pass around this bucket, and if we don't get to the number that I would have paid them anyway, I make up the difference. So we're trying to still continue to pay people very fairly if we can. And it is challenging sometimes.
Yeah.
It is challenging if we don't hit that number. Sometimes we hit it and it's great, but sometimes we don't.
Yeah, and you feel bad.
Yeah.
You always want to hit that number and take
Yeah,
care of
exactly.
Because and essentially they're taking care of you as well by showing up and playing your venue. And,
Exactly. People are there to see them.
Right.
So I mean, this all works. We're all in this together.
This has to be a two-way street.
Yeah.
Well, three-way street. Us, the talent, and the consumer, the crowd has got to. We've all got to know that this has got to work together. Otherwise, it's gone.
Yeah.
And once it's gone, the thought of getting things like this back up and rolling, it's got to be near impossible once the dust clears, because the landscape is just all completely going to be changed.
and you really can't put your finger on when the dust is going to clear.
Oh, it's the thing. There's no targeted date. There's no, hey, we're going to get to December of 2020, and then that's it, man. We're going to just have to open it up and let it go. Like there's none of that. There's if they're just banking on a vaccine and that's going to be it, then who the hell knows when that's going to happen?
Are either one of you running out to get a vaccine though?
Not this quick.
No,
Holy
me
crap.
neither.
No,
Right.
no, I don't think so.
No.
No.
No, they usually take a few years to really test and make sure they're safe. So yeah, no, not running out to do that. I mean, I hope there's treatments. I hope there are better treatments so that if you get it, you have a better shot of recovering. But yeah, no.
Yeah, no. There's no certainty. And
No,
that's
I mean,
the
honestly,
hardest
what
part.
needs to happen, we were talking earlier about Save Our Stages, and that is absolutely critical to all venues right now. Most venues aren't going to last to the end of the year without some aid. And the most recent thing that we heard was that the Secretary of the Treasury, Mnuchin, wanted to take out. That was one of the things he wanted to take out of the stimulus package in order to get it passed. But that means that independent venues don't get help, independent restaurants don't get help, and small businesses don't get any help. And those businesses employ so many people. I mean, it's such a big chunk of our country. I don't think you can take it out. It's
The arts is always the first to suffer.
And
Yeah.
last to come back.
And
last to come back.
Was it down to 12 million jobs or something?
Oh man,
Something to that
I don't
number,
even-
somewhere's around that.
I don't know.
It's a lot.
I'll look.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
mean, the
and
aid is
trickle
really, really critical. I mean, the stuff we're dealing with in New York it's awful, but it's really a small part of the problem, because if we came back to full capacity tomorrow, we would still be in trouble, because there's a significant chunk of the population not comfortable going out,
Right.
which I respect, and I understand it, and I get it. So we're not, and we're a small place. We're actually in a better position to operate safely on a very small level than a lot of places are. Not everybody can do it. Not everybody has outdoor space, or, our crowd is used to staying seated. Like, we have a lot of those things going for us. But, without some help,
Oh, it's done. Winter's coming. Right?
Yeah.
Everybody's, I know Cuomo opened up outdoor dining all year round in New York City. Are you
how's that
kidding
going to
me?
work?
Are you kidding me? How about up here? You know what it's going to be like up here, even if they allow this to go? Well, you can put a couple sides on the tent and hey,
Come sit on this
gonna
ice
be
block
great.
right now
It's
and
gonna be
enjoy a steak
wonderful.
dinner.
Come on, man. That's just it's insanity.
Yeah.
So there's no good solution.
Yeah, we're all
here, man.
pretending winter's not really going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, well, we're going to be outside for a
Hopefully
while.
mild winter.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
It's upstate New York. There's no such thing as a
Right.
mild winter.
I know. There's
Yeah.
a certain point. But a lot of the people who are coming to our place now will only come to outdoor shows. You know, they feel safer outside. If it rains and we have to move inside, they're out. And I get that. But what do we do when we're pushed inside 100% of the time? You know, are we even going to be able to stay open?
We can't fill the 3 days. You know, the 3 days we're doing now, because people are like, why aren't you doing more days? I mean, because if I can't fill 3 days worth of business right now, why am I going to try to extend
do
that
4 or
over
5?
4 and 5 days?
Yeah.
You know, we have close to 4,000 followers on Facebook. I can't get 1% to show up on any given day. You know what I mean? It's very rare. Think about that. So, 40 people? Something like that. I can't even get that as a guarantee. I can't just put something up and go, I know 40 people will show up every night.
Which that's kind of where we
tough,
were.
man.
We'd actually finally gotten to that point pre-COVID where we could put something on and people had kind of come to trust us enough that even if they weren't familiar with an artist, even like a touring artist that maybe was someone Jimmy and I really liked, but Syracuse isn't familiar with, and they'd kind of go, oh, you know, we know you guys always have somebody good in there, and they'll come. You know, we had gotten to that point finally, and now we're kind of going through it all over again.
You had good regulars.
Yeah.
Faithful regulars.
Yeah, we really do. And our crowd is really awesome, and they've been really supportive of us. It's hard that it's, you know, they're being very cautious.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah, you have to be.
Yeah.
You have to be. And it's not really a me type of thing. You're just looking out for your brother and your sister.
Yeah.
And that's the important
Well,
thing.
that was going to be the coolest thing about this, was getting to turn people on to some stuff they may not normally would be looking for. I brought Brother Deej into town, man. Great slide guy, Delta, you know, Louisiana guy.
New Orleans guy.
The New Orleans guy. We're just like I was excited to be able to like start looking at that stuff and going, all right, who else can we find to get some nice exposure? And that's part of the love of like what we do. But it's going to be so hard to get back on that footing again, man.
Yeah.
Because the pickings are probably going to be slim, much slimmer than what was available to us before. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
And keep fighting the good fight, though.
We will.
You are. I know you
That's
will.
the plan.
Down with the ship type of thing, right?
Yeah, man.
We're not going to go down without a fight.
Right,
Right.
exactly.
But there's not much fight left, folks.
That's true.
I hate to say it.
Yeah.
But it just is what it is.
Oh.
The
Yeah.
reality is what it is, man. Without some kind of, you know, stimulus bill or something that's going to help put some help to some of our businesses like ours, man, they're gone. And once they're gone, they ain't coming back.
Well, if anybody wants to help with that, you can head over to saveourstages.com, and there is a form you can fill out that will connect you with your elected officials for wherever you live, and you can let them know that you think live music is important, and that will help.
And not to get all political or not, and I hate to get political on this, but, you know, the leaders of this country just fight with each other like they're in high school. Yeah. It's like, come on, people. You would think they would want to help the American public out. You would think. But no, it's about them.
Yeah.
It's always about them.
Yep.
And it's ridiculous. And
Yep.
it's just, what we need to do is just get rid of everybody in the Senate, in the Congress, and at the top.
Term limits on everything.
Right.
All right. They used to come
I
in
agree.
for Congress, go back out into the fields and plow their fields again. Like that's what it all was about. These career politicians, that shit's got to stop.
I agree.
We need term limits on everything.
Yeah.
Well, the fact
my
that this
political
aid
statement.
package hasn't gone through for, like, they've been working on it for months. The fact
Months.
that it hasn't been passed is a travesty. You know, I don't know what they're thinking, or what they think the average American person is going through right now.
They're trying to win the deal. It's all about them winning is the thing. Is they want to win.
Okay.
They want to
By any means necessary too.
Exactly.
That's the sad thing.
They don't give a shit about us. They
we're
really don't.
No,
And then they just
food.
keep us divided more and more each day.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Divide and conquer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's such a sad state of affairs that we're living in right now. Right now, this country's a freaking joke.
Oh,
It
my
is.
God.
It's a joke.
I've
Yeah.
never been more depressed and disgusted with this whole process. You know, and I try to keep my political beliefs down,
Yep.
down,
Me too.
down where nobody's got to even know. I mean, you give a hint once in a while, but man, this is just nuts.
It
where
is.
we are now.
It is.
So
All right, we won't go down that
let's
political
not.
road.
Yeah, let's not.
That's when I get
Let's
aggravated.
not.
I'll tell you, nothing frustrates me more than talking politics. I'll start yelling.
Yeah.
And I get so
Yeah.
frustrated.
And you're not
about
changing
it.
a side. Nobody's.
Right. No-
you're not gonna change anybody's mind.
Yeah.
You know, I got involved with it at one point. during the last election, and then I looked at what I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Right.
This is a waste of time
It
and
is.
energy.
You'll never win,
and it's too bad.
And you're not going to listen to their side
You're
either.
not. Yeah, nobody's listening to anybody, so it doesn't matter.
And then it trickles all the way down into the Senate and in the Congress too, with all that, because they don't listen to each other. They don't care. They just want to get.
Doesn't matter anymore, man.
It doesn't.
Just go about your business. Shut your mouth once in a while, because we all got friends on both sides of the aisle too.
Yeah.
And I don't want to start hating people that I've known for a long, long time.
Yeah.
I'm getting there though.
I've been there.
Watching some of this horse shit that I see come out of these people's mouths, and it's not even on both sides, man. Because
right. Same here,
stay in the
brother.
middle as best I can. But,
Me too.
I'm trying, man. But there, some people are trying my patience, man, for no reason too, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their thing they want to do, but. That's why I stay in the background, because I'm not a people person. She is. That's why she's
Okay,
the
who's
face-
done most of the
she's
talking
face
here?
I
of
was
this.
going to say you would never
See,
notice
you got
by
me
this
started. I
podcast.
don't want to talk. Shut up, Stacy. Mind your own business. Mind your own
Have
business.
some more coffee, cuz.
I'm on it. Tequila and whiskey as soon as we get off this goddamn thing. I had my fill.
I do got some whiskey in the fridge.
Good.
Actually, I
Excellent.
forgot
Let's
all
get
about
on it.
So one thing we do come equipped with around here on the D is alcohol and coffee. So we always.
It's the only way to
plentiful.
adult these days.
Exactly. But keep fighting the good fight, guys. And thank you so much for coming all the way down here. I
Absolutely.
appreciate it. It was great to see you, both of you, and hang out and talk and, let's get your word out there a little bit. And people should know what you guys are facing right now.
Yeah,
It's a shame.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks for having us, cuz.
Oh, no
It's all
problem,
good,
man. Well, let's do this again. And hopefully what we could do maybe in a year from now, we could talk about all the good things that are happening at
That would be
443.
amazing.
That would be fantastic.
Wouldn't that be fantastic?
Oh.
We would hope.
Yeah.
Please.
Please.
Please. Much love to my sponsors, EJA Moving Services. When you're ready to move and relocate, if you guys want to move out of 443, these guys will move you.
Okay.
They'll move you wherever you need
If
to go.
I move, I'm moving to Philly, and I'm going to go get lost in the big crowds and just fuck everybody.
They'll move you to Philly.
Good.
All you got to
Excellent.
do is hit them up at 315-335-0516. If some of you snowbirds want to get your car down to Florida or Myrtle Beach or Arizona or wherever it's warmer than upstate New York, they will do car transport for you. So hit them up online, ejamoving.com. Also, much love to attorney Dave Longretta. If you need legal advice, give him a call today at 315-735-6162. Much love to Utica Coffee and Saranac Brewery. If not for the sponsors, this podcast is not possible. I love each and every one of my sponsors, so thank you so much for your support here on EC Radio and of Disruption Network. 443, give them your social media tags and how they can find you online and whatnot.
We are at 443 Social Club on everything. We are on Instagram, Twitter. Our website has a lot of information on it. Obviously, we're on Facebook. So, yeah, follow us there. We'll let you know what's up.
Yes, for sure. And thanks again for coming. Did you guys get your tomato pie?
We're on the way home.
The way home. Gotcha.
We got the Utica coffee, and we're going to get the tomato pie on the way home.
You got the Utica experience, well, half the Utica experience, and you got to hang with me. So.
Half- that is the Utica experience. It's hanging with Cousin Z.
Driving me through the hood to get here, too.
Cousin Z from Utica.
I love it.
Cousin from Utica.
You guys can watch this podcast on all our social media platforms, and it's wrapped up into a nice little podcast that you can view and listen to at your discretion, at your leisure, at disruptionnetwork.net. You can follow us on Twitter and Twitch and Periscope and all those other video platforms, and then Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Spotify, and Stitcher, and all those, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Just not in front of the kids.
I can't
add words.
I can't even. There's so many of them nowadays. It's hard to keep track.
It's hard to
of
run
them.
through the list.
Yeah, there's so many of them. I don't even know, and I do it off the top of my head. I don't know. So I should have a list, but of course I don't, because I don't play along with the rules.
That's what happens.
Much love to you guys. We'll see you soon.
Thanks,
Later.
Z.
Brother.